Hey, Shalom, this is your brother Yvonne. First and foremost, want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Okay, we're in a time where everybody has a podcast, everybody has something to say, right? And with the red pill movement and all these different movements, and speaking out against the powers that be, what you'll find is you have a select group of people who have completely separated themselves from the pack. And that's not by coincidence. You got to realize that some of these people that a lot of people follow after they have a big following, the powers they're speaking out against are the same powers backing them. And you know, that might be like, what? No. Satanists believe, and we know this world that we live in is ruled by the wicked, who subscribe to Satan, right? Who at the end of the day subscribes, who he works for the Most High. But the wicked, they're in a trick bag. But Satanists believe that before they do anything to the people, right, before they make a move they have to warn or tell everybody what they're doing. And a lot of times they'll put it in a show or a movie in a comical way, or sometimes they'll set somebody else up to actually tell you flat out, so they control both sides. And it's kind of the left-hand version of what the prophets do. All right, Jeremiah 28:8, the men before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries of evil, war, and pestilence. So the men of the Lord always warn people before the Lord destroys a place. That way the blood is off of our hands, like it's written in Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, I believe. So they do that on the left-hand side. But what this devil, will do a lot of the times is that the revolutionary, or the person that's seemingly standing up, that everybody, gets gung-ho behind, he's set up by the enemy. You understand? So that might be far out for some people to believe, but hey, as of late, you've been seeing this devil's true colors. There's a video I wanted to post today about child traffic. Okay, and I didn't finish the word. But I wanted to post it today, and it's been made blatantly clear that the American government, the U.S. government, is the middleman for that billion-dollar industry. But with no further ado, let's pull this clip up. I want to show you guys just a Black Mirror episode into how this guy that was stood up and started speaking against the powers that be, he actually became a puppet for those same powers. So the only people that truly can be, only thing that can truly be trusted here in this time are the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Anything else, it's not necessarily clear, what it is. Because I'll say this, even if a man of the Lord, he ended up faltering towards the end. If the words, the message he's speaking is true, there's going to be men that, that fold, right? But the understanding and the knowledge, the words are pure, you see? So regardless of what a man does, if he goes off, the truth is still the truth. You don't waver from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai because a man of the Lord fell out or he falters or anything like that. The words, the message, that's what's supposed to, draw you in. Okay? And these words are faithful and true. But let's pull this video up here. And I'm going to start it from the beginning. I'm going to try not to pause it every 5 seconds because there's so many statements and visual aids for things that are going on in our world today that I would that you can make entire lessons off of. If I spoke about every little thing in this clip, we'd be here an hour. All right, but I'm going to try to just speak when absolutely necessary because I know Jake has a short attention span. All right, so here we go.
We start with Bing, a man placed in a 1984 dystopian nightmare where he is surrounded by TV screens 24/7. Bing is given 15 million merits after his brother's passing, and he finds a girl that has a beautiful voice, a girl named Abby. Because of her singing and the fact that he's crushing on her pretty hard, Bing wants to give Abby the majority of his merits, so she can enter a show called Hot Shot and move on to something better. Rooker stated that the narrative of 15 million merits is heavily inspired by the narrative in talent shows, referring to shows like American Idol and The X Factor, and mentioning that there's a lot of people who do observation that you would see so many kids strive to become famous without really necessarily knowing what they would be famous for. We even see a glimpse of this when Abby first arrives to the preview room for Hotshot, as she is told to say a script into the camera for what she wants to be in the future. Abby complies and says, "I guess I'd like to be as big as someone one day," with the key word being guess. In order to better help understand the ending, we have to...
And what's funny about that girl towards the end of the episode, I'm pretty sure he'll probably mention it, is, you know, instead of her actually getting to sing and do what she loved to do, the wicked, these devils in the show, she ended up doing corn, replaced the C with a P. And that's how they had her do like a little tape in order for her to be famous. And you seen that time and time again in the industry. Look at Kim K. She's not famous for anything. She's just famous for laying on her back. And you know, it's kind of like a ritual, really. I believe is it ancient Babylon or Assyria? It was one of the ancient kingdoms where, in order for a woman to be considered a woman, she had to, at least at one point in her life, go down to the pagan temple and, you know, have sex, you know, just have a orgy with the people there, and then she could be considered a woman, making her, and that you see that at an extremely high rate with our women. They don't get notoriety or praise in this world or opportunity to be on a big stage unless they make whores of themselves. But the whole thing is, they shouldn't. That whole mindset of, oh, I need to be front and center. I need to be on the world stage. But for what? Now, our women get compensated here in this kingdom for being whores. But like the scriptures say, a gift destroyeth the heart. All right, let's continue with this clip.
To further talk about the world Bing lives in, we see a very distinct class system, especially with appearances. The beautiful are the upper class as they are shown off to the world on television, and the average moderately fit people are the middle class on the bikes, representative of the middle class's menial repetitive work cycle, and the overweight are the lower class doing jobs like janitorial work. The middle class end up saving and saving to then fork up 15 million merits to get a shot at their 15 minutes of fame. At least for the middle class, the world of 15 million merits is becoming the reality for more and more people every day. Waking up and trying to start your day when seeing advertisements on your phones from applications that you have to pay premiums in order to not listen to or watch the ads. Going to work also in front of a computer surrounded by a plethora of other screens. Come home and you have a screen that you either watch reality TV.
And what I always thought was neat, you see the video game that the guy's playing when he gets home to his little cubicle with all his screens that are watching him nonstop all day. Same way your iPhones take pictures of you every 5 seconds. If hundreds of people have put videos up of them using the infrared lens, and they can see that their camera's flashing, taking pictures of them every 5 seconds. So this is this dystopia that we're watching. This is what the wicked are striving for. But in this video game that he's playing, you remember the overweight people, the lower class people, they work like janitorial jobs. He's shooting the lower class people. So just like in our time, like all the video games, like what you got, GTA, a bunch of things like that, you're desensitized to the suffering of lower class people in general. But if somebody's a celebrity or, of high esteem in this world, people have unconsciously or unconsciously placed the value of their lives on a higher pedestal. But the scriptures, tell you not to be a respecter of persons in judgment. And a lot of these people who are of high esteem in this world are pieces of shit. They're morally decayed. Back to the video.
Or you shoot things up on video games. You go to sleep and the vicious cycle repeats itself. When people talk about how out of whack Black Mirror is, one of the first episodes that they mention is 15 million merits. But I think it's far more relatable song Abby ends up singing on Hot Shot, she says her mom used to sing it to her, and her mom learned it from her mom, that it was a sentimental hand-me-down. Bing thought her voice and the lyrics were just so beautiful. Abby wanted him to invest in stuff for himself, like his room or his doppel, but Bing combats this with, that's all stuff, it's confetti, you've got something real. When performing the song on Hot Shot, the song brings the audience members to tears, and Judge Hope even claims the best piece of singing we've had this season. But then Abby gets an offer to go on Raid's channel, which is just pornography. All the other judges think that is the only choice for her. She is told that people will do anything to be where she is, and that she'd be a star. After she is pressured by the audience, Abby gives in, because it's still better than being on the bike and doing the same boring, repetitive work. She agrees and is put on...
It's only better if you don't understand that we have the world coming to us. The dominion of the earth is going to be given to us. And this, you don't only live once. When you understand, oh man, when you understand how life and death works according to the scriptures, you realize, okay, because people look at us crazy, like, oh, you're just wasting away your life. They'll look at you like that when you sacrifice, especially, a brother like myself or many brothers that I know who have opportunities to be in those high positions in the world. People look at you like you're crazy. Like, why would you, all the hard work you put into to get to a particular place, why would you just give it all up for the sake of, reading this book? You could have read that book while you were doing. No. There's a certain way that you have to be. There's certain things that you passively have to accept to be in particular rooms, to be at certain levels within the society. And you can't be the best version of yourself towards Yahweh Shai. You can't play both sides, man. At the end of the day, you just can't. If you're called to be a teacher in this thing, or whatever the Lord whatever part He calls you to play, you can't really be in that world and really be given to the mentality and the mindset and giving your time to things of the world as much to really thrive in that world. Okay. And, and really be 10 toes down for Yahweh Shai and really, excel and grow and help others, help push the ministry forward. You can't, but you realize it's a reasonable sacrifice for it's a no-brainer when you see spiritually. Because even Yahweh Shah told the disciples, He said, all those who have forsaken houses or lands or mother or father or children for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold in the kingdom. Anything that you supposedly lost here on this side, you're gonna get it all back. We're gonna anything that you could think up here that you want on this side isn't gonna hold a candle to what the Lord is getting ready to give us. Especially if you're of the elect, you're that first batch of Israelites that get to enjoy the kingdom and build it up, man. But where there is no vision, the people perish. Okay, let's continue on.
On Ray's channel, dressed up in provocative outfits, forced to perform erotic scenarios, and told to read a script and lie to the audience because she looks like she hates every single minute of it. They took something so beautiful and innocent.
Nigga tricked off his money to get his girl opportunities, Oh man. Just to be a cuck. And he ends up watching the scene. I can't remember if he pleasured himself to the scene in the show, but he ends up watching the scene, man. Damn. Just so she could be put. Yeah, man. We have to get out of this place because this is actually the reality that will play out. It will be worse than this little show that we're watching. That will play out, man, if this devil was allowed to continue with his plans.
Like a talented singer performing a song passed down from each generation of her family, and then they corrupted it, having to over-sexualize the hell out of her. By the way, if you didn't already think their society was corrupt enough, Selma is advertised on commercial after commercial, being the only star from Hot Shot we really see. People are told to say to the camera that they want to be like Selma so they can convince the public that if you work hard enough and if you're a good enough singer, then you can be just like Selma. Once we get into the waiting room, everyone is singing because they believed in singers from the previous season. It's a rigged system meant to shatter your dreams, to make you compromise for something lower than your expectations, but slightly better than your average life. Enraged on the fate of Abby, Bing works relentlessly, working long hours
Yeah.
to get 15 mil. When on the hotshot stage,
Yeah, just like Jake has to compromise on this side to be a rapper or ball player, things like that. Yeah, you have some who are doctors, and some they even become politicians. But at the end of the day, you're not going to have influence on how society functions here, because it isn't your kingdom. And the Lord put the curses on us so that we wouldn't have that that kind of power on this side. He wants it to where we're at the bottom. The Lord does. And that's on purpose, so that the elect will shine forth as gold, because the elect are going to have to solely depend on him for deliverance. The elect are going to be delivered because they believe and are willing to put it all on the line for that belief. That belief can't be pure if you have some stake in how the society functions, and you can kind of maneuver and do things on your own if you had to. No, the Lord wants it to where you have to fully depend on him for everything and trust him. What's the little drill we did when we were kids, where your friend stands behind you and you have to fall and trust that they're going to catch you? That's what the elect are going to pass that test. They're going to fully believe in the power behind them. All right. All right, let's continue on here.
Hope claimed it to be the best performance they had all season. Charity and Hope come to the conclusion that they already have too many singers from the previous season. It's a rigged system meant to shatter your dreams, to make you compromise for something lower than your expectations, but slightly better than your average life. Enraged on the fate of Abby, Bing works relentlessly, working long hours, eating scraps, and pedaling away, saving up enough to get 15 mil. When on the hotshot stage, Bing stammers and doesn't really know what he's going to say, or exactly what he wanted to say. He just knew that he had to be there to do something about Abby, so he just starts talking. The most that we hear him talk in the entire episode, just one big rant that is his stream of consciousness. He tells the truth, expressing how he's been feeling and telling everyone what he's against, like how much.
So he got back to that stage, to that platform, just to say how wicked the society was and how it needs to be stopped, right? He had good intentions at first, but then let's see what happens.
She hates the oppression of the lower class, how there is most likely no meaning behind working on the cycles, and how he hates the judges for sitting there and doing nothing about how messed up the system is, and how they only contribute to it. Once he is out of breath and has said his piece, Hope offers him a job to host the stream. And the next time we see Bing, he's streaming on television, living in a much better space. Looking around his apartment, we see another penguin, except this one is made out of wood and is clearly professionally made. This penguin is the key indicator that he traded something pure and real for just some more artificial stuff. Bing didn't even drink any of the compliance stuff they gave Abby, the stuff that probably swayed Abby to say yes to the opportunity in the first place. We see that Abby is still on Wraith's channel. Bing didn't break her out or even try to get to her. Bing just lets her get sucked up by the system as he stands in his apartment alone. When Bing looks out onto the green, it's a debate whether or not he's looking out a window or onto a wall of screens. But I think the more important question that we need to address is, who is Bing? Bing ends up being a hypocrite. In the beginning, money was useless to him. He gave it away to make something real happen, and supposedly had no issue doing so. When he gets on Hotshot, he rants about the world and how awful it is, and how no one does anything about it. Yet he reaps the benefits of being a streamer, not having to pedal anymore, and living in a nice apartment with a view of the outside world. Bing turns real thoughts, fears, and concerns into something that you just view on a stream for entertainment. All these things he used to believe in, but when given the opportunity for a better life, he trades his own morals, trading one prison cell for a cozier prison cell. He becomes a sellout. During his rant, Bing questions the system.
All right, I mentioned it already, but let's actually read it. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. He was frustrated with the state of the world, right? Because of the oppression that was going on. And a gift destroyeth the heart. A lot of the people that 2/3 of our people look up to, that don't come in the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, they don't realize that even these people they're looking up to, They may have had good intentions at first, but the devil has his claws in their backs. And they've become like being here. You see?
We ride day in, day out, going where, powering what, and claims fake fodder is all that we can stomach. In the context of the world they're living in, everything that he's saying is true, and all the questions that he's asking are completely valid, and Judge Hope even knows them to be. But now Bing has his own stream, and continuously rants about how corrupt the system is. And one of the main things he talks about is how the doppel items are meant to distract you from your prison cell. Yet the piece of glass, which is a symbol that supposedly fights something like consumerism, gets sold as an accessory on the doppel marketplace. His old prison cell just becomes a backdrop for his new show, as he talks to everyone like he can relate to them, but he is living in much better conditions. It's an entertainment platform.
Right? So he's put up in front of you like, oh, he's a man of the people. Yeah. But at the end of the day, man, he's reaping the benefits from the same system that he's chanting down. He's a tool used by the elites for balance, so that no real leaders stand up. They already have their heroine to stand behind.
So by saying these words through his stream, it numbs the audience to the truth, and essentially delegitimizes the integrity of his own words. Everything about it just becomes the norm, as it becomes fake. And because of this, Bing's warnings are no longer a wake-up call, as the falsities of their society are even more accepted by the people. With this episode, Black Mirror is pretty much calling out itself, as Black Mirror is a show that delivers true, powerful messages about the society we live in, but delivers them to us through a form of entertainment, thus numbing the meaning behind it, as the show just falls back into the many streaming services of man.
Thus numbing the meaning behind it. And that's what this devil does. Like the Satanists, that's what they do. They tell it to you in a show or in a way. They're not even doing it in comedy shows anymore. They'll put it in full on like serious pieces. But because it's it nullifies the message. That's why when people come across the men of the Lord on the highways and byways and they see the seriousness of it, and that it's not a joke, it's not meant for entertainment, and it's bold, the shock value is so much different, so much more potent than people are used to, even than a TV show or a movie, that they'll rather not even deal with it at all. They just walk away. All right, let's see what else he has to say, and then I'll just end the video.
Available for our entertainment, showing us that the ones telling you the system is corrupt are part of the system. When conforming to the system, Bing takes the broken glass piece, the symbol for change and something to combat their prison-like society, and he turns it into a gimmick. Then he condemns it into a black box. This episode can leave you with a lot of questions, but I think
yeah, man, so it's a lot to unpack in that clip. Like I said, if I would have stopped it at every statement, we would be here an hour. But maybe I'll revisit it and kind of go through, because I watched it a few times today, and there's a bunch of points that you could, in illustrations that you could link up with other videos in there. But Lord willing, it was edifying, and it got your brain turning. Maybe your brother even see that clip and make his own response to it. So with that being said, I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rekah Kodash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right? May the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.